Hello class! Today we're going to talk more about family, housework, and yes/no questions. For example, I wash the dishes. Do you wash the dishes? Yes, I do. Or no, I don't. That is a yes/no question. The answer is yes or no. Do you wash the dishes? Does your husband wash the dishes? Does your son wash the dishes? Do your children wash the dishes? So we're going to practice with yes/no questions. First, let's review affirmative sentences with this example. I wash the dishes. I wash the dishes. You the dishes. What goes here? Wash. So it's the same. W A S H. Wash. You wash the dishes. He the dishes. What goes here? Washes. He washes the dishes. So this one changes. Washes. W A S H E S. Washes. He washes the dishes. She the dishes. What goes here? Washes. Washes. These are the same. W A S H E S. Washes. Maybe I talk about two people or three people. They the dishes. What goes here? Wash. Wash. So it's the same as this one and this one. W A S H. Wash. So we know that if we talk about one man, we use a S or ES. If we talk about one woman, we use a S or ES. Same with all the verbs. I cook. You cook. He cooks. She cooks. They cook. So here is wash the dishes. I wash the dishes. You wash the dishes. He washes the dishes. She washes the dishes. They wash the dishes. So if I talk about my family, I can replace he with a person in my family. So for example, my husband washes the dishes. My husband washes the dishes. She, maybe my daughter. So I can replace she with my daughter. My daughter washes the dishes. They, maybe I talk about two people. For example, my children. They wash the dishes. My children wash the dishes. Because it's 2 or 3 or 4 people. It's plural. So if I talk about one person, I use S. If I talk about 2 or 3 or 4, no S. My children. My children wash the dishes. So repeat the sentences. I wash the dishes. I wash the dishes. You wash the dishes. You wash the dishes. My husband washes the dishes. My husband washes the dishes. My daughter washes the dishes. My daughter washes the dishes. My children wash the dishes. My children wash the dishes. So here is an example of a yes/no question. Do you wash the dishes? Yes, I do. Or no, I don't. So this is a yes/no question. The answer is yes or no. And when we ask questions in English, we use a new word, do. Do you wash the dishes? Do you wash the dishes? Yes, I do. Or no, I don't. So maybe I want to ask about another person. He. How do I ask a question about he? He. Do he wash the dishes? Right? It's the same, right? Do he wash the dishes? Do he wash the dishes? Right? So when I talk about he, I need to add an S. Do he washes the dishes? No, that's not right. So when I talk about he, this changes. Does D-O-E-S. Does he wash the dishes? Do you wash the dishes? Does he wash the dishes? Maybe I want to ask about a woman. She. How do I ask that question? She so he and she are the same. I use an S. Does she wash the dishes? Does she wash the dishes? Does she wash the dishes? So he and she both have an S here. Does. Maybe I want to ask about two people. They. T-H-E-Y. They. How do I ask this question? Do they wash the dishes? Yes. There is no S. It is the same as this one. Do they wash the dishes? Do they wash the dishes? So notice when I ask a question, these are all the same. Wash the dishes, wash the dishes, wash the dishes, wash the dishes. There is no change in the verb. They are all the same. And this changes. Does he, does she. So he, she, and they are what I use when I talk about family. So for example, does he wash the dishes? Does your husband wash the dishes? So I can replace this with a family person. Does your husband wash the dishes? Your. Y-O-U-R. Your husband. This is my husband. My husband. He is not your husband. He is my husband. My husband. Your husband. Does your husband wash the dishes? Your husband. Husband, H U S B A N D. I ran out of room, so I need to write wash here. Not very much room. So does your husband wash the dishes? Maybe I want to ask about a woman in your family. Does your wife wash the dishes? So I can replace she. Does your, oh, wrong color, Y, O, U, R. Does your wife, W, I, F, E. Does your wife wash the dishes? They. Maybe I want to ask about 2 people or 3 people. Do your children wash the dishes? So I can replace they with 2 or 3 or 4 people in your family. Do your, Y-O-U-R, do your children, C-H-I-L-D-R-E-N, children. Do your children wash the dishes? So these are yes/no questions, and we will practice in class. I'll say the question and you repeat. Do you wash the dishes? Repeat. Do you wash the dishes? Does your husband wash the dishes? Does your husband wash the dishes? Does your wife wash the dishes? Does your wife wash the dishes? Do your children wash the dishes? Do your children wash the dishes? So I can ask questions about different housework, different household chores. So for example, what is this? Vacuum. Does your husband vacuum? Or what is this? Cook. Does your husband cook? What is this? Do the laundry. Does your husband do the laundry? Clean the house. Does your husband clean the house? So I can ask about many different things here. Same thing with wife. Does your wife vacuum? Does your wife cook? Does your wife do the laundry? Does your wife clean the house? I can ask about children. Do your children vacuum? Do your children cook? Do your children do the laundry? Do your children clean the house? Listen. Do you clean the house? Yes, I do. Does your husband clean the house? Yes, he does. Does your daughter clean the house? Yes, she does. So here is one yes/no question. Do you clean the house? Yes, I do. Or no, I don't. No, I don't. So maybe I want to ask about your husband. So I'm going to change this. How do I change this? If I want to ask about your husband, now I say, does your husband clean the house? Does. So that's D-O-E-S. Does your husband clean the house? Because I am talking about one man, he. Does he clean the house? Does your husband clean the house? Your husband. Does your husband clean the house? So now the answers change. Does your husband clean the house? Yes, he. I am talking about he. So remember, he is one man. He. Yes, he. H-E. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. So that's the same. D-O-E-S. Yes, he does. Or, no, he doesn't. Doesn't. So this is D O E S. Same, does, and then N apostrophe T. Doesn't. No, he doesn't. And the pronunciation sounds like this. Duh. Zint. Doesn't. Doesn't. Does your husband clean the house? Yes, he does. Or, no, he doesn't. Maybe I want to ask about a woman in your family. For example, your wife. Does your wife clean the house? So I'm going to change this. Does your wife clean the house? Wife, W-I-F-E. Does your wife clean the house? Yes. He? No, not he. What is this? She. She. So the answer changes. She. Yes, she does. Does. They're the same. Or, no, she doesn't. Does your wife clean the house? Yes, she does. Or, no, she doesn't. So I can ask about people in your family. Does your son clean the house? Does your daughter clean the house? Does your father clean the house? Does your mother clean the house? Does your grandfather clean the house? Does your grandmother clean the house? And you can answer. Does your father clean the house? Yes, he does. Or no, he doesn't. Does your mother clean the house? Yes, she does. Or no, she doesn't. Does your son clean the house? Yes, he does. Or no, he doesn't. Does your daughter clean the house? Yes, she does. Or no, she doesn't. So we're going to practice yes/no questions with family and housework next class. And I will see you then. Bye.